All right.
We are live.
We are live. Just give it a minute here for people to join up. Hope everybody enjoyed the talks yesterday and the raffle giveaways. And I know there were a number of people on the VIP social hour last night, some until very late in the morning. All right, 6:01. Should we go ahead and get started? Thanks everybody for attending. Again, we had some very interesting talks yesterday. Did some raffle drawings. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Sorry, we did have a slight technical difficulty, but I'm glad we successfully adapted, and I don't think we lost too many people. If you did miss it, the recording is available. You'll have to go to the new link that was sent out as we were dealing with the technical difficulty. Also, at the end of the convention, I'll send out a summary email and include all the links again for everybody. So the recordings will be available for at least a week after the convention's over for those people that are registered. These videos are not available to the public except for tonight's video. Tonight we opened up to the public for the banquet, and they will, everyone, all the public will also be able to see the San Francisco Bay brand spotlight tonight and raffle drawing. So speaking of sponsors, just like to thank Cobalt last night for their presentation and spotlight. Some great questions coming in from the audience. And tonight we have San Francisco Bay brand, who has a couple of interesting videos to share with us. And tomorrow is going to be sponsored by ZoomEd Laboratories with a very interesting video of some of the animals that they keep there at their headquarters, and also some of the antique aquarium artifacts. Speaking of sponsors, last night in the middle of the presentations, we received an email from a new sponsor that really wanted to be a sponsor this year, and that is Fish Mart, based in Connecticut. Peach has been a large supporter of the NEC convention back from when Janine and I first started coming in the mid 80s. So the sponsor is actually a Fish Mart and Seagrass Farms, and we'll hear a little bit more about that tomorrow. So tonight we're going to start off with the banquet. In a minute here, I will turn it over to Russ McAndrews, the NEC president. That's going to be followed by a spotlight for San Francisco Bay brand, as I mentioned. And then we'll, before we break on this session, we'll just talk a little bit about the auction. And then we'll switch over to the other session, which will feature Anthony Mazarol giving his presentation on Cambodia. Also in that other presentation will be two of the vendor spotlights, Amazonas and the Wet Spot. And then following that, we will go again to Google Meet and do another VIP social hour. I counted almost 30 people on the one last night. There was lots of interesting and varied conversation, you know, as is typical on any social hour, happy hour. So I think that is all I really had to say. Thank you all again for attending, and look forward to actually seeing people sometime soon. I will turn it over to Russ.
Thanks, Dave. Welcome everyone for attending this weekend's event from far and wide. The pandemic has given us a new page for our hobby, and as we enter the post-pandemic, we'll see how it pans out. No pun intended. We've gotten a lot of new virtual members. some of which probably have never attended a physical meeting. So it'll be something new for them. Pleased to announce that over the past year, the NEC has led a conservation effort that for Project Diaba, with the support of our member clubs and individuals, we've brought in over $2,000. I'm pleased to announce that we've gotten new members in the hobby. The hobby is actually doing very well, despite the fact the clubs are having a hard time of it. I thank Ira Gardner Morse for a wonderful auction program, which some of you may have seen already. He wrote the program and has generously made it available for all of us to use. As I said, the hobby is thriving, and we have a lot of new members with new features in the virtual world. The NEC owes a big thank you, we all do, to this year's virtual convention chair, Dave Banks, from the Tropical Fish Society of Rhode Island. I'm sorry. From the Tropical Fish Club of Burlington. Sorry, Dave. And he was supported by the other committee members, Janine Banks, also of Burlington, Leslie Dick of the Danbury Area Aquarium Society, Ira Gardner Morse of Tropical Fish Club of Burlington, also Nancy Villers of the Tropical Fish Club of Burlington. Who else was on the committee? Brian Nelson of the Boston Aquarium Society, Dee Manuel of the Brooklyn Aquarium Society, and Callie Parker, Bucks County Aquarium Society. Also, I'd like to thank my standing board of governors, Vice President Nancy Villers, Secretary Sherry Tenaglia from the Pennsylvania Area Guppy Club, Rich Pierce, who's still filling in for us as treasurer from the Tropical Fish Society of Rhode Island. D. Manuel, Brian Nelson, Karen Pattis of Koi International, and Carlos Pereira from Upstate New York Killifish Association. Again, thank you all. I hope you're enjoying the weekend. And that's it for me.
Hi, everyone. First thing we're going to do is we're going to present the awards for the NEC photo competition. How do I go about, sharing my screen? Let's see if I can get my PowerPoint up here. Okay, there we go. So this year we had a very good photo competition. We had 83 entries, which I think may be the most we've ever had. And I just like to put up the people who entered. Zedin Skomorowski, please forgive me if I mispronounce your name. Mo Devlin, Joseph Garado, Paul Loisel, Sal Silvestri, Scott McLaughlin, Jessica Bullock, Chris Lawson, David Manuel, Guy Van Rossum, David Banks, Robert Hintz, Don Lang, Ira Gardner Morse, Basil Holubis, and myself. I'd also like to give a special thanks to Tony Tessera. He was our judge. He said it was a very difficult competition to judge, and overall he thought the quality of entries in all classes was the highest we've ever seen. So I'm going to go through, we have 6 classes. I'll go through the classes and then just show you the pictures that won, and with the names of the fish and the photographer. So first class, this is the advanced class. This is for the more experienced photographers, people who've won in photo competitions or otherwise have had more experience photographing fish. First place goes to Mo Devlin with his Amphilophus citrinalis. A very nice picture. Second place goes to myself, Richard Pierce, with a photo of a betta. And third place goes to Paul Loisel for Tenictes Kunai, one of the new little white clouds, and this is one I haven't seen before. And there was also an honorable mention, Terraphyllum scalare, to Don Lang. Tony really had a tough call between this one and third place. Class 2, individual fish identification, the open class. This is for anyone who wants to enter this fish. Although once you've started winning in the other classes, I encourage you to move up into the advanced class. Again, some very good entries. First place, Neolamprologus ocellatus by Ira Gardner Morse. Very nice picture. Second place, Parananogromus managuense from Scott McLaughlin. This fish has a lot of character. Third place, Synacalictes pearsi from Scott McLaughlin. Mo better watch out because Scott's going to be catching up to him pretty soon. Class 3, underwater life, grouper tank photos. And this is, again, the advanced class. First place, Amphilophus citronellus by Mo Devlin. Second place, a nice group of Boraris brigitae by Guy Van Rossum. And third place, Parachromis managuensis with fry by Mo Devlin. Congratulations to all the winners. Class 4, underwater life, grouper tank photos, the open class. First place, Hemichromis species by Jess Bullock. Second place, Corydoras habrosus by Ira Gardner Morse. Third place, Puntia statea, the cherry barb, again by Jess Bullock. And an honorable mention, Parachromis managuense to Scott McLaughlin. Congratulations to all of you. Class 5, this is NEC activities, people pictures, so pictures of people from the NEC convention and various NEC clubs. I think Tony has the hardest time judging this one because they're not fish. So first place, Cobalt Guys by myself. Second place, NEC 2019 Mustache by Don Lang. And third place, Norwalk Picnic, Basil Holibus. And our last class is Pond and Water Gardens, again, an open class. First place, Victoria Amazonica by Zenon Gomorowski. Second place, Dragonfly by myself. And third place, another nice water garden pond by Basil Holibus. So I'd like to thank all the entries. If you won in any class, please send me your email me your mailing address so I can send you your awards. And please welcome our next speaker, David Banks, who will present the Breeders Participation Program Awards. Thank you.
All right, some great pictures, Rich. Thanks. So I have the honor of giving out the Breeder Participation Awards this year. 2020 was a hard year for breeder participation. There were a couple of auctions early on in January, February, and then in the fall, there were a couple of online auctions. But other than that, there wasn't a lot of activity, and the results showed it for sure. Let me go ahead and share my screen. So the board decided early on last year that we would actually not award for second and third place because of the pandemic and the situation with clubs not meeting regularly and not holding auctions. But we actually had two individuals who received a breeder plateau, so I wanted to bring that up. And since there wasn't a whole lot else to discuss, I figured I would show everybody that's reached a breeder plateau within the NEC Breeder Participation Program. For those that are not familiar with the program, you get a single point for every bag of fish you enter into any fish club auction, whether that's a meeting auction at your home club, a meeting auction at a club you're visiting, an annual auction. Online auctions also count. And the club does not necessarily have to be an NEC club. It can be any club. So just wanted to hit some highlights here. You can see some of these are old. The program started in 1985. So there are a number of people here that haven't participated in a long time. So you'll see that there's no entries here for the last 10 years, actually 11 years. And then you'll see those that are currently active and have been active. We'll start at the bottom here. Bill Cole, who actually didn't submit any points for last year, sits at 2,500 points, which is close to 10% of the total points for the whole program. So that's quite an accomplishment. And you can see the numbers here for the past 11 years. He's been in the top 3, I think, every one of those years. Janine and myself are next on the list. We've been active since about 1987 or 88, some years much more so than others. And then we've got a number of other people that really have been going for a while. Leslie Dick's been plugging along at it for a little while. She's at 430. Ira Gardner Morris is attained 456 in the past 8 or 9 years. And then we've got a couple of newcomers. Mike Eck, who unfortunately I just found out is moving to Georgia, so he's probably not going to have a lot of future entries, but you never know. And then there's Brian Scott, who, those that know Brian, he's actually been around for probably 25 years. He was not participating in the program for a very long time. I kind of talked him into starting in 2016 to become active. These numbers that you see here are probably pretty consistent with what he's done since he began in the hobby. But since he started so late, actually submitting points, he only has a total of 224. However, he reached that plateau this year. The breeder plateau is 200 points. So congratulations to Brian. And then the last two that I really wanted to highlight would be Karen Haas she's a member of a number of different clubs, but Aquarium Club of Lancaster County, I think, is what she's officially listed as here. She's had, the past 3 years, not including last year, she had very high numbers, and she has reached 547. And then we have Rob Hintz from the Tropical Fish Club of Burlington, who, once he sets his mind to something, he goes all out. So he had a couple of years over 200. He even did up 45 this year, and he received the senior breeder plateau for hitting the 500 mark. So congratulations to Rob and to Brian. And I hope 2021 we see a lot more entries. So I think that's all I really had. If you have any questions on the program, definitely feel free to reach out to me and I will help you. You can do it as a club, you can do it as an individual too. So either way works for me. So I am all set, and I think we are ready to turn it over to Artie, who is filling in for Dave Hardenbrook to give the article competition.
Artie hasn't arrived yet. You want to switch to Janine for right now?
Let me, he said he was all set. 10 minutes ago, just before I took over. Let me just send him a message.
He hasn't popped up yet.
But yeah, we can go ahead and let Janine take over for now. Is she ready? Probably not.
You ready, Janine?
You're on mute.
Okay, I think I'm ready now. Let me shut down my phone. And I am the chairman of the Betty Mueller Honor. The NEC Betty Mueller Honor means so much to me and to so many in the past who have also received this recognition. It's not an award you can do something to win. Rather, it's simply recognition for years of dedication to the hobby and years of work for and dedication to the Northeast Council. The Betty Mueller Honor is bestowed annually to an individual who has shown significant dedication and support of the aquarium hobby as a whole, as well as specifically to the Northeast Council of Aquarium Societies. Past recipients of the award since its inception in 1979 have each been imitable in their own esteem and recognized with this high honor due to their unique and unequaled contributions to the aquarium hobby and the NEC. Callie's going to post on the screen now the list of all past recipients, many of whom are present at this banquet with us, but sadly, many of whom have passed away, and they're noted with an asterisk. So many people from so many clubs. At a normal NEC banquet, we would read the names and have those present join me up on stage. But you see the list, many names you will recognize like Penny Fall, Lee Finley, Wayne Leibel, Tony Terciera, Mr. Chuck Davis, yes, Dave and I, Karen Randall, Leslie Dick, Joe and Fran Massey. It's quite a group that did an amazing amount of work for the NEC in their time. The NEC would not be what it is without them. It's interesting to see all the clubs. So, okay, you can take that down and we'll move on to this year's recipient. Nominations can come from any club in the NEC, and the people who have received this award in the past are still active in the hobby. They're the ones that make the decision of who receives the recognition each year. So paraphrasing the nomination that I received for the award this year, here is what the person or the club that nominated him said. Many aquarists look forward to seeing him attend club meetings, club auctions, parties, picnics, and conventions. We seek him out for his treasure trove of knowledge, which includes his real-life observation of fish in their biotopes, in his aquarium at home, and the pickled specimen. He freely shares his knowledge, peppered with humor, with all ages unbiased. He does this in many ways: books, live presentations at clubs around the world, and one-on-one. He promotes and supports local clubs, the NEC, and endangered species. He's always willing to speak at a club. He's been involved in the aquarium hobby for many years and written numerous articles and books that advance our understanding of breeding and conservation of many species. He's an enthusiastic aquarist with over 50 years of experience, who has been fortunate to travel the world to places like West Africa, the Rift Lakes, Mexico, Madagascar, and the Peruvial Amazon, making a study and a career of his love of tropical fish. A founding member and fellow of the American Cichlid Association, a crucial member of the CARES program since its inception, and a lifetime member of the North Jersey Aquarium Society, Dr. Paul Loisel has dedicated his life to the NEC clubs and to advancing the aquarium hobby, and is this year's chosen recipient of the coveted Betty Mueller Award. Congratulations. I'm hoping he is watching the banquet, but I'm not sure. We have, every year, the person that receives the Betty Mueller Honor gets a plaque. And instead of just a plaque, it's a clock. So this is what the clock looks like. It's one similar to that anyways, and it says, for your outstanding dedication to the aquarium hobby and to your support of the Northeast Council of Aquarium Societies. So congratulations, Paul. I wish that I could be giving this to you in person. And I think that's it. Hopefully, Artie is now available to take over.
We're working on that. But thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, we're working on getting Artie. He actually
Situated.
he actually just got the results from Dave Hardenbrook recently, and he's having a challenge getting into StreamYard right now.
Luckily, we are ahead of schedule, it looks like. Because we budgeted an hour for this. And we're about halfway through.
But the articles competition may take a little while, so.
Okay.
Silence.
We need music. We need to bring Dory back. He's our intermission.
Yeah, for those that missed the social hour last night, we had a special guest, Dory Carlo. For those that have been around for a very long time, probably know Dory. If you've been to a hospitality suite, either at North Jersey or at the NEC, he would always bring out his guitar and sing along. So it was nice to see Dory. Dory moved to South Carolina a few years ago and really hasn't been very active in the fish hobby in quite a while, but he was glad to jump on and entertain us. It was interesting doing a sing-along.
Yeah,
in a
normally
Google Meet.
we have some singers, but we had to provide our own this time.
He's switching from his iPad to his Mac because his iPad is not behaving.
Okay. Is he going to share his screen on his Mac?
I don't know.
All right. We're going to find out. He might have some permissions that he has to click.
If worse comes to worse, we can have him just read the results.
How are we doing, guys? I see the chat is marching on.
Any interesting comments from the chat?
I think D is on our account singing Puff the Magic Dragon, which is a little interesting. Who else we got? Richard Pierce. All the nominees this year are amazing people. It was difficult to decide who to vote for. True that. We have amazing people in this hobby. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if Janine went through the process because I was trying to help Artie here, but the nominees all come from the individuals from the clubs, and then those are sent out to previous Betty Mueller Award winners that are still active to anonymously choose their first, second, and third, and then Janine tallies them all, and then the award is presented. Artie is printing them out, and he will join the meeting on his Mac, he said.
Okay.
So give us another minute. Any more interesting comments in the chat?
Dee's asking about sharing the photos on the NEC Facebook page. Chris Lawson from Multi-Tank Addiction says lurkers unite. So you're all lurking probably. Let's see.
Is Rich still in the studio or did he drop off?
He's not in the studio. He is in the chat though. He's making comments.
Yeah, the winners will certainly be available. Artie is running into just one more little snag. He's trying to run StreamYard on Safari, and Safari doesn't want to support it, so he's installing Chrome,
Okay.
which should go pretty quick.
Yeah, Chrome's not too bad.
And he said that's probably why it didn't work on his iPad either.
Most likely. But again, we are on time, so
Yep.
No worries. For everybody watching, on 7 o'clock, that's when our next block of content is. It will be San Francisco Bay brand, so we'll have a sponsor after this, which is pretty cool. We have a few pre-recorded videos lined up, and then Jason will actually come on to take questions. So you'll have some interaction there.
And we're going to do a drawing.
And a drawing. Gotta love the prizes. Someone says we need a club in New Hampshire. Then start a club. You can do it.
There actually was a club in New Hampshire, New Hampshire Aquarium Society. They were meeting north of Portsmouth. They actually shut down about a year ago.
Oof. Revive it. Bring it back.
Yes. And at one time there was a club in Maine. There is actually a small club in Maine, meets in Sebago Lake area. It's pretty informal, I think, still at this point, but if whoever's interested in New Hampshire is interested in getting up to Sebago Lake, you can contact me and I can get you in touch with them. And
bring it
depending
back
on
to
where in
life.
New Hampshire you are, right up 89 to Burlington or Otter Valley in Rutland, might be even closer, depending on where you are.
And there's plenty of people throughout the pandemic. Basically, everybody who was ever considering having a fish tank just kind of went out and got one. So we've seen tons of new hobbyists. So if you were considering it before, now is a good time. Now is how you keep them in the hobby instead of putting that tank in the garage or something like that. We had a question.
Probably a lot of tanks came out of garages and attics.
Yes,
during
a
this
lot.
time.
Did we get a discount code for the wet spot? Or is the wet spot coming up still?
Yeah, they're coming up later tonight, but yes, we do have one. Let me bring that up. There was also a discount code for Cobalt that was announced last night.
Yes.
You want to throw those up right now? And also
I grab
the
that.
press. So the promo code for Cobalt was NEC 2021 and is good for 30% off until May 2nd. we did find a technical difficulty last night. It was somebody that was jumping on right away to use it. It overlapped with their existing promotion that was going on for their 10th anniversary. So it was the same discount, 30% off. Basically what they did is they took their 10th anniversary and extended it for us until May 2nd. And then the wet spot promo code is WTS Coriodoris. That is good for a 10% discount with their online purchases, and that's good through May 8th. And then Odd Konings announced during his chat last night that he's also offering a promo code NEC33 for a discount on the 6 most popular books on the Cichlid Press website.
The wet spot, that was WT what?
WTS
Corridors?
Corridors.
No space?
No space.
It's in the chat. And they're pretty good. I have ordered fish from there before.
Yeah, the wet spot always has so many interesting things on their list.
Pretty sure I got twig catfishes. So I guess they're in Oregon, right? Oregon?
Yes, they're in Portland, Oregon.
So the twig catfish came up from Panama to Oregon, and then it came over to, I think I had them in Massachusetts at one point, and they went for a trip. But they were perfect. They arrived. I didn't lose any of them. It was excellent. Oh, and Haley's added a discount code as well for aquatic arts. So check that out in the chat.
And I will include all of the discount codes in, like I said, I was going to send out an email at the end with kind of a summary of all the links, and we'll include the discount codes there. So take advantage of them. Thank our sponsors and our vendors.
Yep, they make this happen. So we
Exactly.
definitely appreciate them. How's already trucking along?
I was just going to check in with them again because I haven't heard anything.
And how much was the wet spot discount?
10%.
10%.
Yeah, on their
All right.
online sales. And in case you missed it last night, Super Cichlids had planned to be one of our vendors, but due to unforeseen circumstances, they're not going to be able to attend. But do check out their online store, or if you're in the Dover, Delaware area, definitely go check out their store in person.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a wonderful place to visit. Super Cichlids. I'm going to grab their website. Oh, that's easy. It's supercichlids.com. D says Artie's hacking the Pentagon. I mean, that's about right, right? Getting a mech to agree with things takes a force.
So, well, we have a couple more minutes. I will just mention a couple of highlights of people that are attending. We've got a number of people from outside the US that have joined, obviously a number from Canada, but we also have a past North Jersey member who's currently living in Ireland who has registered. Not sure if he's watching this live since it is about 6-hour time difference. And in the middle of the night last night, while we were I think in the social hour, we got a registration from Australia. So again, I'm not sure if he's watching early in the morning or if he's just gonna watch the recordings.
Was his name Patrick?
It was Philip.
Oh, I don't know who that is. I know like 3 people in Australia, so I was like, what's the odds? We'll see.
And then, we got the normal attendees from NEC clubs and from around the Northeast. But we also, even in our in-person conventions, we have always had a draw from outside the NEC. I know Steve Eady's in attendance. I think he said this is like his 20-somethingth in a row, because last year didn't count and this year does count for him. So he is here. He's from Missouri. I see people from Colorado, Texas,
Here.
a couple others from Missouri actually too, Illinois. So it's interesting that we can offer this to people, outside the Northeast, with it being virtual and outside the country even. Although we always get a few people from Canada coming down. I know Eleanor from Montreal has been previously.
We got a whole crew.
Yeah.
And Artie's here now.
All right, Artie.
Wasn't looking good for a while.
That's all right. We have plenty of time still.
Well,
You muscled through.
there
Thank
go.
you.
Well, I kept hitting the link. I'm like, all right, I'm not stupid, but it just came to a blank screen. I'm like,
That can't be right.
yeah, I knew this wasn't right, but I realized now, obviously, finally, when I got it to the Mac on the computer, it said that Safari wasn't compatible. Which is, of course, because this is a competing product, right?
I don't know. I don't know who makes StreamYard and whether they're a PC or Mac type person, but I guess that shows
it's probably got something to do with Google somewhere along the line. These guys are all in bed with each other. If Google doesn't own it now, they'll own it next week. So
There you go.
So Artie, go ahead and take it away for the articles competition. And thanks for filling in.
all right, you want
Go
me
for
to talk now?
That's not a problem for you, is it?
Never, but I printed it out. I didn't read the articles, but I printed it out, so I'm good. You tell me when to go on air. I'm here.
You're on.
I'm on. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what I look like to the rest of the world, but welcome to the NEC convention, everybody. Didn't think we were going to make this, did we? So the powers that be have asked me to be the mouth from the South, actually. New York is not really the South, but for us, it sort of is. So I didn't really get a chance to read all these articles, but I know all the names on this as I used to be the former articles chair. So, to get right kind of to it, the only thing I can tell you is that you guys need to submit your articles. 2 clubs. That's 2, right? Can you see me? 2. 1, 2. That's not enough. I do see a name that formerly used to write for Brooklyn. He happens to be writing for Greater City now. Shame on you, Joe, but I'll leave it at that. With that being said, I think Dave could really use a lot more reading, and he would love to have 25 clubs submitting articles so that he could just do nothing but read articles from all you guys. And everybody publishes digitally, so there is no excuse. All right. Well, with that being said, because I'll keep you here all night, let's start off with what it is. So bear with me here. Okay.
And Kelly, do you want
The
to
NEC
drop me up?
2020 article competition results. Again, first place, Anubis by Joe Fredenzi from Greater City Aquarium Society. Joe's a friend of mine, excellent writer. He's actually the one article I got a chance to really quickly breeze through. Fantastic. Second place, Why Latin? And I'm sorry, Joel, I'm going to mess up your name. Joel Antinwak. And I know that's bad. I know it, and I'm sorry. But it's from ACLC, another powerhouse in writing articles without question. Third place, Aquascaping Without Plants, Joe Fredenzi, Greater City. So keep in mind that's going to be either Greater City or ACLA. I mean, that's unfortunate, but that's it. Corey Doris, Astor Personatus, Don Keon, ACLC. And again, Don, if I messed up your name, forgive me. Second place, Wild Angels, Jules Birnbaum, Greater City. These are in the breeding class. And third place is Joe Garafanino for Greater City with thanking and him, giving me Latin. See, I really did need a chance to read this first. Thankinella SP Surikoi. I believe that's Madagascar cichlid, but forgive me if I'm wrong. The continuing columns, one of my favorite things to read. By the way, I can guarantee you that Norwalk will have its newsletter in this next competition. We just started it up again. First place was the Undergravel Reporter. It's an anonymous writer, and that's Greater City Aquarium Society. Second place was the President's Message by Horst Gerber. Again, Greater City Aquarium Society. And third place, the editor, Dan Rodenberg, Greater City Aquarium Society. Humor class. Well, Ron Webb won first and second place. Apparently, he's the only funny guy in all of fishdom. All right, he won for his April column and his July column. And we had no kids write anything. Didn't draw a picture, didn't write anything. So the junior class is vacant this year. So that kind of rounds it up pretty fast. But as the former chair on this, I would really love to see us do a better job. I know that, we are doing nothing but water changes and breeding fish, so we have no time to write anymore, because of COVID. But, honestly, you could dictate, to text and submit it as an article to your club and share what you did, because the whole idea about being in clubs is to share your information. And when you share your information, you could write it into an article and everybody can have it forever. So write your articles, submit them to the chairman, and enjoy. And with a little luck and Godspeed, I'll see you guys all next year. Thank you.
Thanks, Artie, for filling in. It was great.
Thank you.
And sorry for the technical issues you had.
Oh, no, wait, listen, I got it just in time.
Perfect.
And I'm sorry for really mispronouncing Joel's name there.
And Koviak, Joel.
Sorry, I got an Irish tongue. I can't speak Latin or Polish or any Slavic. I can barely speak English, as you can tell.
All right. So I'm going to drop you off, Artie. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So it seems like Jason is here but not here. He says the thing says he needs to connect his mic before I can add him to the stream. His mic and camera. So I'm just going to make sure.
Yeah, he says, I can hear you.
He can hear us.
It's not letting me connect. Oh no, more technical issues.
Do
Do we want to go ahead and...
though. Tell him to drop off and try again.
Okay.
And if he has a Mac, he might just have to add the permissions to share his screen.
Do you want to go ahead and show one of the videos?
Oh, there he is.
Am I here now?
Oh, never mind.
You're
There
here
we go.
now.
With half my head cut off, that's good. They don't see the glare. Yeah, I don't want to remind everyone of the movie Powder.
All right. You want to start with the videos?
Yeah, it's one of the videos, and then I'm gonna talk about some of the stuff and show some pictures, and then I really don't need the other two videos till it's kind of near the end.
Okay. Which one is the one that you would like me to play?
The one that's gonna start is the ON intro video. So after that starts, then I need to start talking. After
Is it the what does ocean nutrition stand for?
Yes.
All right.
So then after that, it's going to stop, and then I would talk, and then if I want to share my screen, how do I...
Nutrition stands for quality foods, premium foods. We want to provide quality foods for the passionate hobbyists, for people dedicated to the fish hobby, with more difficult fish, with sensitive fish, fish that have high requirements in terms of nutrition. So we really stands for this premium food of fish food for the hobbyist. We produce a broad range of foods. We have, in fact, the whole range. We produce frozen foods and dry foods for marine as well as for freshwater fish. So in fact, when a hobbyist wants to feed something to their fish, we provide them, in fact, everything they need. So they can get from Ocean Nutrition whatever type of food they really need. The hobbyist is for us the most important target group, the people, the passionate fish hobbyists, the people keeping their fish as a real pet. But besides the fact that the main target group is the hobbyist, we also provide foods for public aquaria and ornamental fish breeders. So the people breeding fish for ornamental use for the hobbyists are supplied by Ocean Nutrition. With our experience in the aquaculture industry, we have the knowledge of producing high quality foods for people breeding specific breeds of ornamental fish. And for public aquaria, while we produce a broad range of different foods, frozen foods, dry foods, we can offer them a wide variety of foods in order to feed the fish they want to feed to show to the public. In aquaculture, the focus is how many kilograms of fish or shrimp can I produce with 1 kilogram of food. It's all about FCR, feed conversion ratio. While in the ornamental food, the importance is not mainly on growth, but especially on coloration and health of the fish. How can I keep my fish in a good health and have bright, colorful fish in my fish tank? And that's what we're focusing on. Of course, we use a lot of the techniques that are used in aquaculture to improve the quality of the food for the ornamental fish business. However, we have to adapt from an aquaculture application into an ornamental application. And that's what we try to do on a daily basis.
All right. Also, I forgot to warn you, we are live. We are ahead of schedule a little bit. So, surprise.
Okay.
That's why I played that. So, what did you want to share?
Well, right now we have, can I share my screen like this?
You should be able to just click share and then either click the window or click the application tab to share just the application.
So, okay. I guess we'll just share the screen. The best way for me to go about this, I guess, is just coming through and over the past year, we've continued to update our formulas, transitioning them over to all natural ingredients. And basically the only ingredients in the formulas that were not natural before that were just the colors and the preservatives. Although it's very sensitive when you have products like our pellets, like the Formula 1 and 2 pellets, which are a soft and moist pellet, which have the potential, to go rancid if they did not have proper preservatives in there. So it takes a little bit of research and development to make it possible to do this. And we had started several years ago with our flake line of foods, but now we continue with the rest of our dry line. And we started with the Formula 1 and the Formula 2 pellets.
Are you sharing right now? It's not coming up.
It's not?
No. Did you click OK?
Yes.
There we go.
Is it sharing now?
It is.
Oh,
Woo.
what happened there? That's not good.
It's the StreamYard inception. If you click anything else open over it, it'll just switch to that.
No, it's just fading and making more of
Can you minimize? Oh,
if I switch it to Photoshop, and I can't even get to the window I need now. All right. Sorry about that. And it's not
not a problem. Again, we're ahead of schedule, so we have time.
Oh, so we're not live right now, or are we live?
We are live. We're just starting a little early.
Okay, so I guess I'll have to share from Photoshop to make this work.
We can see it.
Okay, so there's the Formula 1 and the Formula 2 pellets that I was just speaking about before we had technical difficulties. The next product up that we've gone ahead and we've switched out the artificial preservatives and colors is the Grazing Wafers. You know, again, we have a very particular wafer that remains in form for a long time in water. So that was another thing we needed to make sure that we still had the same integrity with the product when we made changes to the ingredients in this product. But usually this product will last in the water for several hours before it begins to break down and give an adequate time for any of the fish to feed upon it. Also, we've started with our beta product, so our beta pellet, which is a very popular pellet. And this is for any life stage of your beta, anywhere from 6 months and older. And once again on that, we just simply removed the artificial colors, replaced it with a yellow iron oxide, and then we use citric acid and some mixed tocopherols as the preservatives in these pellet products now. And to continue on with our line of products, our beta spa no longer contains an artificial preservative either. And with the beta spa, it's a fairly unique product. A lot of times people ask that, is it a water conditioner? Will it remove the chloramines and the chlorines and the ammonias, which it does not. It's an environmental water conditioner. So it just creates the ideal conditions for a beta. It includes vitamins, calcium, and salts. So it's also not necessary, and we recommend not adding salts when using the beta spa. With the beta spa, you can see on the left-hand side here, we have water with no beta spa, and then your maintenance dose would just be the your regular water change or something. You would just apply the regular maintenance dose to the water, and then on a conditioning dose, the conditioning dose could be used for several reasons. Maybe you're conditioning the fish for breeding, possibly you're conditioning the fish for show, or the fish just may not seem like it's in the best health, and you want to go ahead and try and perk it up again, and that would be when we would recommend using the conditioning dose as well. Moving on from our product updates, we do have several new products. We'll start with a new product from the San Francisco Bay brand line, and that product would be freeze-dried Cyclops. We recognize the popularity of our frozen Cyclops, and they're a popular product with both marine and freshwater hobbyists. A lot of guppy breeders really like the Cyclops. A lot of people who breed Corydoras catfish also like to use the frozen Cyclops. But your freeze-dried Cyclops, they can be soaked in some aquarium water, and you could use something like a pipette to dispense them into the water, or just simply pour them into the water. And they'll become fairly neutral buoyant, floating around in the water, and they would eventually sink down to the bottom. And then moving on from the Cyclops, we do have the Artemia Assist now, the Separt. Now, these are coated in a magnetic material, which allows for a perfect separation through the process with using a magnet. That way, any of the brine shrimp eggs that do not hatch would be attracted to the magnet, and then all of the shells from the hatched eggs will also be attracted to the magnet in the Separt system. So, this is really popular among marine breeders, but also if you had some really rare or expensive freshwater fish and you were raising fry and you wanted to make sure that there was nothing going to interfere with the process, this would be a good product to choose, because using the Separt process, you will not have an issue with the eggs, because down here at the bottom of the separator, there's a giant magnet. So once you have the eggs hatched, you can just go ahead and pour the entire hatch into the flask, and then the eggs will automatically, and the empty shells will automatically be attracted to the bottom. And then you could go ahead and pour that flask through a brine shrimp net or a sieve or whatever you were using to collect the babies, or if you wanted to remove them from the cylinder with the pipette, that would work as well. We do have a video demonstrating the process of how the magnet works with the brine shrimp eggs. Do I need to stop sharing my screen now? Oh. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It helps if I'm not
so-
muted. So do you want me to show the other
The
videos?
video for the Separ
Artemia.
Artemia Assist. Yes.
Perfect. And someone asked if the Cyclops were freshwater or saltwater.
They're actually a brackish water Cyclops.
Okay.
And it tends, I mean, actually where those Cyclops are collected can go between freshwater and brackish water, sometimes depending on the time of year, the rains, and how water's moving. Okay, so there was a demonstration of how the Artemia Assist work, when a magnet is introduced. And now I'll go back to a screen share, hopefully without any issues here. And we'll just switch back over to Photoshop over here because that seems to be what's working. And the last of the new products we have, which is actually a product that we've just simply reintroduced in larger packaging, is the Beta Pro, which is a very popular product. And as you can see, the first ingredient in this is brine shrimp embryos. And other than that, you've pretty much just got the wheat flour, which is necessary for the pelleting process, along with all the vitamins.
You have to re-share it again.
Oh, it didn't share?
Yeah.
It's not.
Sorry about that.
No, I did hit share screen. Share screen. No. I apologize. Something happened here. I don't know what's going on.
It's okay.
Now it says it's blocking me from sharing the screen. Great. Well, anyway, that was the Beta Pro product. And that's recommended for beta fish anywhere from 2 months to 6 months as a staple diet. Just because of the high nutritional value in there. And then after 6 months, again, that would be used as a food for conditioning betas. So again, if you're going to show your beta or if you were breeding betas, because it is a very popular food amongst beta breeders. And unfortunately, I cannot share that again. I'm trying. No.
If it's not letting you do a share your whole screen, it might let you do share application instead.
It's not giving me an option for that.
So you're hitting the share button at the bottom of the StreamYard window.
Yes, and it's coming up, says share screen. It's either share screen or share video. And then it just gives me another option to share screen and nothing else is popping up.
Okay, so the pop-up when you hit the share screen, there should be some some toggles at the top of that pop-up.
Yeah, and
That allows you to
there were
choose.
before, and they're not coming up now. After I unshared the screen, it's not for some reason not allowing me to go back in and share. Great. Okay, let's try again. No, I'm sorry, it's just not letting me do it for some reason.
It's okay. Is there a pop-up that comes up that because you're on a Mac, correct?
Yes, and it's giving me I can share. I can try the entire screen again. See if
That worked.
Okay. So there's the Beta Pro again. Anyway, this product is very popular with beta breeders for conditioning the fish. Usually they start feeding it to them a couple of weeks before they attempt breeding the fish. And just because of the high nutritional value that the product has, it's not good to use as a staple diet for the fish. So what we recommend is once your fish is 6 years old, just switching over to the regular beta pellet. And then anytime you wanted to condition the fish for show or breeding, to use the Addison's Beta Pro. And now I'll hit stop sharing. So we're back. And are there any questions or anything on any of the products before we go on to the next section?
Let's see. Just a lot of good feedback right now. Who has a question here?
This went so much better in rehearsal.
Right. I mean, that's usually the way of it. Oh, I think, Dave, you said you had a question?
I do have a question. Thank you for bringing me in. Jason, when you use the magnet, or in the separator, will that bring the shells from the surface all the way down to the magnet?
Yes, it's a very strong magnet. It's
Must
very
be, yeah.
And so, I mean, so the retail price on that product for the separator, which comes with 25 grams of eggs, it retails around $100.
Wow.
But, as you know, if you look at any aquarium equipment with a large magnet, it's an expensive piece of equipment.
Yeah. But you could do a home project with any old little magnet to help, right?
Yep.
But you're going to have...
Yeah, we do sell more eggs than separators, but, I think, too, once people buy the separator...
There's no going back after that, right?
Continue to buy the egg. It really depends on, on the convenience you're looking for, and if you're looking for a side project to create some sort of a separator or something,
Neat product.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's I accidentally spilt a bunch of eggs, and I just took a magnet and picked them all up.
Can't do that with untreated eggs, can you?
Yeah, so you can't do that with untreated eggs. So that's one positive thing. You'll never waste eggs by spilling them.
There you go.
Okay.
D asks, do you make a sinking carnivore food?
We have the sinking Omni pellets for cichlids, the cichlid Omni pellet.
Okay.
And also you could use the you could use Formula 1. Formula 1 is intended for marine fish. The only thing that's really in there is some vitamins that the freshwater fish aren't going to use, so they would just pass through and wind up in the water column and removed by your chemical filtration. Well, 20 I see there's a question. 25 grams of the treated eggs usually sells between $20 and $25.
Okay.
And
If
again,
there's no-
Jason, for those eggs, I mean, you were talking about for specialty fish or, fish where you really didn't want the shells involved, right?
Right, where you didn't want the shells involved. Maybe you've got a really like a rare cichlid or something you're breeding, and you want to make sure you can raise every fry possible without having any interference. So that would be, obviously with that product, the you have to justify the cost of using it for the fish and what the fish are going to sell for, or the rarity of the fish and stuff like that. That's why it tends to be a more popular product among people who breed marine fish.
Yes, is that the brine shrimp eggs in the can?
Right now, we're only offering them in a box. They are available in a 16-ounce can as well. But yeah, and they're a Salt Lake egg, and they're coated with the magnetic material, and it's a non-toxic material.
He also mentions the hatching kit is really compact. Is that true?
With the San Francisco Bay kit, it's very compact, and then with that, that's just a small flask, probably around the size of a can of soda or so, maybe a little bit bigger. You know what I mean, as far as the radius of the device would be concerned. But it's quite heavy for the size, just because of the size of the magnet in it.
Not seeing more questions right now.
That's fine. I mean, if you want, we could go on to the next video, which is a video. It's a tour of our factory in Tianjin, China. We're often asked about the process of our frozen foods and products, especially things like bloodworms, which are heavily used in the freshwater hobby. So we thought we'd share a short video of the tour of our factory, which maybe there'll be some questions afterwards.
All right, I'm putting it up.
Okay. Okay.
All right, we do have some questions. There's one question from before about the magnet assembly thing. Like, how is it cleaned? Does the magnet slip out to release the captured shells, or how does that work?
No, you just have to wipe them out. It's sealed in there, the magnet in the acrylic. It's easy to clean it out.
Okay.
Just use water and like an acrylic safe. You could use an acrylic safe algae pad or something like that, because you don't want to scrape the inside of it, because brine shrimp when they hatch, there's a lot of bacteria. I mean, you could clean it out with a little bit of diluted bleach as well.
All right, there's a lot of like oohs and ahs in the chat. Dee also shared you had a feeding guide up on your website as well. That's been
Yes.
shared to the chat.
Yes, we have and I think on our website, on both websites, Bay Brand and Ocean Nutrition, there's two ways to look at the feeding chart. You can either look at the food and it'll show you the different types of fish that it's recommended for, or you can go in and choose a variety of fish and it'll show the different products that are good for that variety of fish.
And I actually had a question on that video. I saw the process of rinsing the bloodworms. Is the
Yes.
goal to kind of not feed them and wash everything through, or do you gut load them at all?
No, we don't gut load the bloodworms. We try and, if you saw prior to the rinsing, those were holding tanks, and when the bloodworms come in, we put them in those holding tanks. And I don't know if you also noticed there was a protein skimmer, which you usually do not see in a freshwater system, and that just helps to remove more of the debris. That's the first process. They come in, they go into the holding tank. There's a few other steps in between. Then they get rinsed and put into the buckets, and then from the buckets, they're either going to go into the area where they were packaging the flat packs, or they would go into the area where they do the cubes, and then dumped into the hopper and pumped into the cubes.
Very cool. Let's see. Do we have any questions, guys? A lot of people are saying hello.
Hello.
And is the process similar for the Daphnia and the brine shrimp as far as rinsing and that?
It is. I mean, obviously, we have to handle different products differently because, something like a Cyclops and a Daphnia is a little bit more delicate than the bloodworm, and you have to use different nets and sieves and stuff like that. So we have different grades of sieves and nets that we use for the different products and whatnot. And the brine shrimp, actually, there's like a slide that they go on. It's a little bit of a different process that's more efficient for cleaning the brine shrimp. So, we don't show every step in that video, but there's different things. And hopefully at some point here, we'll get some of the video up on our YouTube channel that shows the process for the brine shrimp as well.
Oh, they will eat that up if you do that. Because it's really cool to see it, because you don't really get the opportunity to
No, you don't. And it's one of the advantages of us owning and operating our own factory. But it also, we also know all the intricacies, which is why we're not actually collecting the brine shrimp and the bloodworm and stuff ourselves, because everything is very controlled over there and we're not allowed to.
Okay, so they just come in from
There
elsewhere?
are, they call them fishermen. And those are the people licensed to do that in that area. And so if we want that product, we have to buy it from them. And that's why they deliver it to our factory on a daily basis. We basically make deals with the fishermen that they're going to bring us this much product each day. And then we take it and process it. And different items are available at different times of the year. So.
Okay. Let's see. We have a question about cleaning the tubes. I assume on the brine shrimp. Which tubes are you talking about? He's asking about using a tube brush to clean the tubes. I assume in one of the hatchery.
You just want to use anything that's acrylic safe, because you don't want to scratch the acrylic. You know, I mean, like I said, you can clean it with a little bit of diluted bleach, but anything you can do to prevent scratches and bacterial buildup inside that cylinder is best. Not that it really affects it in the same way it would if it was a hatching cone, where if you had a bacterial buildup in the hatching cone, that could lead to a, you know, a bad hatch. It's just, I don't know. Anytime you're breeding, hatching, and feeding, it's best to keep things as clean and sterile as possible.
Right, because anything you introduce at that point is going to get into the fry.
Right.
And we have a question about: are you guys going to make a magnetic algae clip?
No. No, we only make food related products. So any sort of a feeding accessory or anything to do with brine shrimp is we try and just stay focused on that and not branch out.
Okay. He might mean like the ones that you magnetically hold the algae, but I don't think do you do an algae?
Oh,
clip?
no. You know, we've looked into that for like the seaweed clips. And the feedback we've gotten from people is they'd rather just buy the less expensive ones and replace them when the suction cup is no longer any good. And especially with the, the rising cost of rare earth, I mean, anything with the magnet is going to continue to go up in price.
That makes sense.
Yeah, one thing some people do though, when the magnets wear out, is sometimes they'll take some fishing string. They'll pull not the magnet, when the suction cups wear out, they'll pull the suction cup out of the seaweed clip, tie a piece of fishing string on it, and then if you have an aquarium that has a brace in the center, you can tie that fishing string or use like a plastic clip and clip it and just let the algae clip kind of float around and swing around right there in the middle of the tank, and the fish will come by and feed on it.
And then it's almost like you're fishing.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit more fun.
Oh, someone says that's what they do now, the fishing
Yeah.
line.
Yeah, no, but like I said, we have researched, we've reached out to people, we speak to people at trade shows, and the general consensus is it's really not worth making the magnetic one, at least for us, from what we've gotten for feedback. I mean, you're looking at the difference of like you get 2 of them for like $5 or $6, or 1 of them for $25. So it's just the initial cost. People would rather spend that $5 or $6 every, so many months or once a year or whatever, instead of buying it. Because a lot of times I think even with the magnetic ones, that magnet eventually rots out and you have to replace the feeder.
Not seeing any questions right this second. So if there's anything you wanted to highlight.
No,
Any new product coming up?
No, I showed what we had on the new products for right now. I mean, we do continue to work with our other dry line in Ocean Nutrition. There's only a couple of products left that we haven't transitioned completely over to natural products. I mean, as all the products stand right now, the only thing in any of them that aren't natural would be some of the colors and some of the preservatives. But these are also products that were originally developed back in the 80s, and that's why they weren't developed with those in place to begin with.
Okay. I'm gonna bring
The biggest challenge right now is just making sure we keep everything in inventory during this time with all the issues that there are. So we've focused more on that, on the logistics aspect of things right now, than we have on new products.
Just to get things in the hand at the new hobbyists, because everybody and their brother ran out and got fish tanks for the pandemic.
Right, and we're at the mercy of booking the containers to get the product from our factory to the U.S. and other things that have happened in between. I mean, everything is backed up, so it's more important for us to make sure we can keep supplying the products we already make at the moment than introducing new stuff. Even though we've always got something new in the works, we don't have anything slated to come out anytime soon.
Gotcha. Now I'm going to bring Dave back because I think we have a giveaway to distribute here.
Yeah. So thanks, Jason, and thanks San Francisco Bay Brand and Ocean Nutrition. Oh, look at that. We have. Are those the actual donated items? I think they are, aren't they?
I believe so.
Nice. I was just thinking, I don't have a nice little graphic that shows everything. These are all the items that are in this drawing. And I can go ahead and share my screen and do the wheel again.
So it looks like if you have a beta, you're gonna want to win this one.
Yeah, we've even got the brine shrimp to hatch to feed the babies.
All right, do you already click it?
I did.
It's going.
Okay, so we've got everybody's name on here that is registered. Again, this is for everything that was in the little graphic there that Callie had. Thanks again, San Francisco Bay Brand and Ocean Nutrition. They've been a vendor for many, many years at the NEC convention. Jason and Alec have always been there for us. So thanks for being a sponsor for this year.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and click, and we will see who the winner is.
Oh, it was spinning a little bit. I thought it already got clicked. I was like, this is taking a long time.
Hey, Carlos, congratulations. So Carlos will get that information out to Jason, and those will be sent directly to you. Great.
And again, that's what you won. All right, we have 2 minutes left. So I saw a few questions pop up that I just wanted to get to here. Someone asked how business has been affected by the pandemic. We went over a little bit, but if you want to,
it's been
elaborate.
busy. You know, it's been difficult to keep up with product demand. There's definitely been some back orders on the market. So, you know, if you're not finding some of our products out there that you used to find readily available, just be patient. They are coming back. They're getting a little bit better at processing the container ships in port right now. So the inventory should start to flow through all the distribution channels.
Okay. And someone asked, are there any plans to find a substitute for ethoxyquin as a preservative?
Well, that's what we've been replacing. The beta pellets with the Formula 1, the Formula 2. We've been replacing the ethoxyquin with some natural preservatives. And there's only a handful of products that still have the ethoxyquin in them.
All right. So I think that's it. So I do want to just say thank you for joining us.
All right. Yeah, thank you, guys.
All right. And I think we're going to move over to our next highlight, which is some auction reminders. But I'm going to pop you down now, Jason. Thank you again.
All right.
All right. Let's bring. Ooh.
Whoa, who's that guy that just showed up?
Who's that?
Yeah, instead of hitting stop share, I hit leave studio by mistake.
Oops. Well, you're here now.
I'm back.
I'm here.
So yeah,
It's an auction. Bid in
yes.
it. That's all. Thank you.
Bid more, bid often.
Do people have questions on the auction? We've got our expert here, Ira. He can direct people. If there's any questions, anybody finding really interesting, good stuff out there in the auction? Any feedback?
And there's tons of great stuff here. Don't forget that if there's a search up here, and you can search for things, but you can also select how you view stuff. So you can see the newest lots or the oldest lots. You just hit apply filter and it'll show you the oldest stuff. And I've also got a most popular, least popular, and then a recommended for you that based on the lots that you viewed or bid on, will show you things that it thinks you would want to see. The least popular is pretty cool because it lets you find some really good deals here. Sometimes it'll just show you like the newest lots, but it's showing you all the things that people aren't looking at or aren't bidding on. So definitely make sure to check this out. And it does save the last thing that you selected here. So that's available. It's under filters. If you're on a mobile device on a phone, it's a little bit smaller there. But the auction is going well. We're up to 440 lots, lots of good activity. And I don't think there's been many major technical issues or anything like that. So things are going pretty smoothly. Definitely participate, share the link with your friends. Please, please, please like it on Facebook. It helps bring in new club members. And that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, spread the word. Let everybody know about the auction. That'd be great.
Yeah, because anyone can actually participate. So the more people you get that to, the more fish that appear on that auction, and the more you get to bid on. So definitely do that.
All right.
So I
There
want to
aren't any-
remind everybody that their email has the next link. I don't want to save the link or share it in the chat because we opened this one up to everybody. So only the registrants should go to the next link of content.
And I think we're almost caught up time-wise, right?
We're
Within a
doing
few
good
minutes.
because this was supposed to end at 7:35, and we have 3 minutes, 3 whole minutes. We're ahead of schedule. We're doing good.
And I'm assuming D has already started up the
Can we put a
next
link
one?
to the auction in the chat here?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Fish. The auction.fish.
That's
Or is it
correct.
fish dot auction?
Auction.fish.
There it is.
Unfortunately, we do not have shipping for most of these lots. It's already enough work to coordinate them between shipping them or transporting them all over New England. Maybe next year we'll do shipping. Maybe not.
That would be too much. That'd be so much.
Although, if you know somebody in the area that's willing to pick up the lot for you and ship it to you,
Yeah.
try it. But
Yeah.
we are not coordinating the shipping for sure. We have plenty going on. So
Yeah. Poke some people that you know are already gonna pick up some fish. And the auction link is in the chat right now, so you can check that out. But also, you should be migrating over to the other link right now.
and I'm going to go ahead and drop off and go over there.
All right, go for it.
See y'all soon.
Yep. All right, guys, go to the other link. I think I just froze it with my dancing there. All right, people are dropping off. It is the oh geez, what's happening? It's the same email that you got earlier. It should have the updated links from the prior presentations, and it will have the link for the next block of content. It will all be in the same email. Should have gotten sent out earlier today. I can actually tell you what time maybe if I have it in my email, which I should. And remember, the email came from Dave. So if in doubt, search Dave, and the email should have gone out today at 12:46. So it should be in your email. Should have all the correct information in there. Go do it. There's 36 of you still. Get out of here. Awesome. Cool. Anyone else with problems right now? We good? All right, cool. I got confirmation that the new link is working. So I'm heading out. I'll see you at the next block of content.